So there are two significant looming deadlines this week as the African National Congress readies itself for its National Elective conference next month. As the contest for leadership seems to be getting tougher, the party will close nominations for the positions tomorrow. We ask now whether the party will be ready for their national conference with just a little over a month left. At the same time, President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to respond to questions from the independent panel of experts probing whether he violated the ethics code by the end of day today. Let's chat to political analyst Dr. John Molepo for more on this. Thank you very much, Doc, for availing yourself this morning. We do know that ANC members are discouraged from lambasting sitting presidents, especially in public. We've heard the view of Lindiwe Sisulu this morning. The Sunday Times running with an article, and the headline reads, Motlanthe warns Cyril, and there's an excerpt where they spoke to the former president, and he is quoted as saying, growing speculation about what happened at Ramaphosa's game farm where a large amount of foreign currency was stolen was not good, as it cast doubt and suspicion around the president. The same publication, the Sunday Times, on page 4, spoke to Nomvula Mokonyane, rather, a contender for the Deputy Secretary General position, and she's quoted as saying that under our NEC leadership led by Ramaphosa, we've done the worst. We have no leagues, and so it goes. What should this tell us about the prospects for the president?
Yeah, morning to you and morning to the viewers. I think it tells us that the moment of the conference is here, and people will obviously want to campaign. And in campaigning, obviously, we always look for the bad things that the current leader has done. But also, equally, Ramaphosa, in his administration, I think the ANC was dismally not doing very well. Look at the leaks, not necessarily the leaks, look at the administration. And also, again, the question of Phala does not also sit well with all the members of the ANC, and that on its own has a dire effect for the Ramaphosa's re-election in December.
Tomorrow is D-Day in terms of nominations for leadership positions, and the Western Cape is yet to hold its elective conference. It's announced that it will be held from the 30th of November to the 3rd of December.
Well, we are expecting to see whether this province obviously will pronounce and so on, but in any case, even if they pronounce, the most people who are critical are the branches in this particular conference. And if you can look into this conference, there are a lot of people who are contesting, particularly the presidency and other position. It tells you that there's a serious problem in the presidency. Look, if you were to check in during Becky's time, Zuma's time, when they were doing some re-election towards the presidency, the contestation amongst the presidents was few. Look at this time, how many presidential candidates we have that want to contest Ramaphosa. So it tells you that most people saw an opportunity for Ramaphosa to lose this particular election. But also, if Ramaphosa does not navigate well with this issue of Phala, I don't think he will come back.
Whomever emerges as victorious from this elective conference will then also eventually become the leader of the country, or the CEO of the country. In a speech last month, the former president Thabo Mbeki said that Ramaphosa was facing increased pressure that could affect the ANC's forthcoming leadership conference, and he noted that the ANC needed to ensure that credible leadership emerged from the conference. From the list of people that you have seen so far, because there's always that argument whether you can separate the individual from the party, right? It's one thing. Is there somebody that you can identify to be credible, or can we still call the party credible?
Well, the ANC is still a credible party with persons who are they are found wanting. Look, if you were to look with the presidential contest, Nkosana Dlamini Zuma, in terms of qualification, credentials, she's doing very well. And then also look at Lindiwe Sisulu. They have those particular credentials. Look at Mkhize again. They have those particular credentials. What matters most is that this colleagues who are contesting Ramaphosa. I think if they're united among themselves, realign, I think they can defeat Ramaphosa. But if they are still going to contest the way they are, it puts Ramaphosa at this particular stage to win. And I think it will be the first president to lose election for his second term. Because if we were to check those presidents who said they all won the second term, so it will be the first one. So I think these comrades who are now fighting or who want the contestation of the president, I think they need to realign. And also Ramaphosa again, Ramaphosa slate, also, not necessarily slate, but his silence on the preferred slate or people that we want to serve with, it also signals something else, because those who want to pursue or work with Ramaphosa, they don't know where they stand with him currently. So it also opens some cracks on for his re-election. I think those who are now contesting against Ramaphosa, if they realign themselves, I think they will be able to win this particular conference. And also, if you were to look into the provinces can pronounce as much as they want. I think if you can check the realignment of these particular provinces, and also the question of step aside, that has a dire effect. If you were to check the KZN and Limpopo, they now agree that the issue of step aside must be looked into in the national conference. So it tells you that going to the conference is not going to be easy, and this conference might also be decided inside the conference, because no any other province now can disannounce or denounce Ramaphosa, because Ramaphosa is state apparatus, or he can use his power as the president to fight you. So I think what needs to happen is those who are contesting Ramaphosa, they need to sit and realign each other and see how best they can defeat Ramaphosa.
When you say use his power as president to fight, what do you mean?
Obviously, anything can happen in politics. Imagine myself if I was the president and we're about to contest. Anything that I have at my advantage, I can use it for my re-election.
Dr. Molepo, the members of the ANC are electing their president this time around in December, and in 2024 the average South African will have its own conference, if you will, in the form of the general election, and they will be tasked with electing a party that will move the country forward. So if we assess some of the gains and some of the work that still needs to be done by the party, the everyday South African, my guess would be that they will be considering a number of factors in terms of deciding whether the ANC should step aside or whether they should retain power, chief amongst which is their quality of life, and whether progress has been made, you know, not just for themselves but for the country to move forward. And so what do you perceive the everyday South African is faced with when they get to the poll in 2024?
I think in 2024, the ANC will still be in power. The only thing that we might see is some provinces like your Gauteng that we might see probably the question of coalition arrangement and so on. If you were to look and assess the previous result of the local government election, they tell you that Gauteng is clinching. Anything can happen in Gauteng. But if you were to look into Limpopo, Eastern Cape, Northwest, and other deep rural areas, the ANC is still in control. And I think the ANC, because of that, the ANC can still be in control in 2024. And I think what should happen after this particular conference, any person who's elected as a leader should now reflect to ensure that the ANC becomes a party that appeals to the general society. I think given this particular time, the ANC should emphasize on the question of service delivery to the people, because people out there, they see and they feel and mostly are affected by the decision that has been taken by the ANC, and this lack of service delivery to the people. I think what is critical, the ANC in this particular period, even after the national conference, they should relook and reimagine itself again as part of gaining support of the larger voters.
Thank you very much to Dr. John Molepo. He's a political analyst, for your insights this morning. Still